In the first video, I mentioned that I had a rough idea of where the garage was going to be located. The garage is angled to best fit the open area that currently is a parking pad. This will require the least amount of trees to be removed. The garage placement is also angled to best fit the existing driveway. You want to make the entry as straight as possible for ease of entry and exit. In November, I had the surveyor come out and pin the corners for the garage location. The first pin that we see is the front right side of the garage. Walking across 24 feet, we reach the front left pin. The rear left corner is the closest to the lot line, and the builder wanted to have at least a foot over the setback distance of 10 feet to give him a little fudge factor. So the rear left corner is 11 feet from the property line. The right rear corner will be the lowest part of the property and will require the highest foundation wall. This drawing shows the 5 trees to be removed that were too close to the garage. I needed to start prepping the property for the eventual construction. During late November, I contacted a tree removal company to remove 6 trees in the backyard, 2 of which were dead and 4 were too close to the proposed garage. The trees were simply cut down as close as possible to the base. While I had them there, I also had them trim some tree branches that were too close to the house and some that were too close to the power lines in the front yard. Here's the trunk of one of the dead trees. The skid steer loader made quick work of hauling away the trees. I then got an excavation company to remove part of the existing old driveway parking pad that covers the proposed garage area. It was pretty old and cracked. Here you can see I used duct tape to mark the areas to be broken up and taken away. The excavator is hard at work removing the thick concrete. Part of the new garage project will be to pour new concrete to connect the garage to the existing driveway. The excavator also removed a few of the tree stumps that were in the way of the foundation. This is what the area looks like after the excavator had finished. The excavator measured the 2 front pins in 3 different directions so that they could be replaced later on after the excavator pulled up the ground in that area. In the previous video, I mentioned the impervious requirements for the property. You can see the arrow is pointing to the 600 square feet of driveway on the right side of the house. Since this driveway is old, cracked, and not used anymore, this wasn't a big deal. On the first day of the excavation, the company removed this part of the driveway after it had finished with the section by where the garage will be located. This expansion joint marks the end of where the concrete will be removed. On the second day, the truck dropped off several tons of soil to be spread out in that location and then covered with mulch. And that wraps up part 2 of the garage project. Next part will be the construction process.